Now I know and I get it. There's a lot of you out there screaming bloody murder saying, I will never go to a concentration camp. I won't take my family to a concentration camp. And on this side of the day after event, it's easy to say that. But when the water shuts off, when the power shuts off, and when you're getting hungry and cold, and there's no food, all of a sudden, you may be forced to do things you would have never considered before. Unless you're prepared ahead of time, and one of those things that you might need is a bucket. Your ancestors have been growing buckets for an awful long time, containers if you will, something to hold their supplies, be it water or food. Seal it up the best they can by just cutting off the top and using it as a cork, if you will, to plug the end. And you can carry a lot of supplies in a container. Our modern day buckets are a wee bit different and a lot more durable, without question. A good metal bucket, 2.5 gallons, about 20 pounds of water you could go toting with one of these. That'd last you a number of days, you bet. 2.5 gallons of water. That could make the difference between you getting to stay home and or at least stay out of a concentration camp by having your own bucket. Be also good, more than a few times when I was a kid, I'd be sent out to the river with a bucket to collect choke cherries or wild plums, you bet. Things like that, that was a common occurrence in the fall for me. And an old bucket, I'd fill that thing up, and sometimes my mom would even give me a dime for doing it. A dime. It'd take hours to do, but I had nothing else better to do. And rest assured there was no internet back then. But a bucket is worth its weight in gold in many aspects. Now you can get different sizes of buckets if you want. You can get a great big old critter bucket, you bet. Things like that we used to use, and we would heat them up, get them on a fire, and be able to help pluck chickens, do all sorts of things. A bucket can give you that opportunity. Again, hauling food, hauling water, and keeping you out of a concentration camp by simply saying there's a better way. Now, if you think that's the fun part, though, it ain't. For example, like I told even the smallest one, you know, it's 2.5 gallons, 20 pounds. Well, if I wanted water here, straight south is the river, 1 mile, one. Now that'd be mile going downhill, but coming back with a 20-pound can of water, that is uphill, and up some pretty steep hill as far as that goes. And so what is a better way than just simply carrying a bucket of water? A good two-wheel dolly the day after event will probably be worth its weight in gold. Gas will be out reasonably quick, and so one of the main transportations you're going to have is a good two-wheel dolly or something in that nature. That thing can haul or tote around hundreds of pounds for you and do a pretty good job on most any even ground. Another great tool to have, of course, is a golf cart. Just a simple little golf cart, you bet. Lightweight, and yet it'll tote around 100 pounds for you. That's 100 pounds of water or food, weapons to defend yourself, maybe some winter clothing or extra clothing of some type or other, medicines or whatever you might be able to need. That will be your vehicle, very possibly. So something to keep in mind. And again, what we're talking about in the bucket idea, is whatever you have is there only because you put it there or you were able to collect it yourself. Rate this film, and I hope you got a bucket.